Hey guys, how's it going? Super Pikachu here. Today we are wrapping up the Emblem rating series by coming back home to the MLS. We got a bunch of wonderful teams and a bunch of really cool looking emblems, so without further ado, let's kick it into high gear and let's go!
Super Pikachu!
So for the final episode, I decided to make some changes to the tier list to fit more of the American lingo. So the first one, obviously, we have super, and then we have great, and then we have it's I, and then not my vibe. So let's get started with the very first emblem, which is Atlanta United FC. So I apologize if some of these emblems are a little low quality. There wasn't any with high quality, so I have to source it off of some random website. So yeah, the A, first of all, has a really nice 3D look. It has the red and black stripes in the back. It looks very dark, but it also has a little bit of gold contrast to like the little shine. I'm going to be giving this probably a bottom of great tier, only because of how good the A looks. Next up, we have Austin FC. I really like how the tree looks in the back. Other than that, it's relatively simple. The name is just white text, very simple, plain. And then we also have the really nice green, which also kind of is pretty nice. So I'm going to give this a top of its eye. Now we have Charlotte Football Club. Very simple looking emblem, just the top and the bottom text, like just pure white, and then we have the blue on the sides. It says minted 2022, so kind of like a coin, I think. And then we have just a simple PNG crown in the center. Very simple, nothing much to say. This is gonna go under Austin into its eye. Now we have Chicago Fire. So there is a show that I think is called Chicago Fire or something like that, but it has the symbol of a fire badge that firefighters would have on their chest, which is very nice. It also has a star, which is really interesting. The C is pretty cool too. I really like the reference that it makes. Now keep in mind, I am a Canadian/North American, so I kind of understand these references more than the British ones, which have a lot more history. So this one is going to go below Austin into its eye because I like the tree design more. Next up, we have Colorado Rapids. It's a pretty nice name, I'd say. The soccer ball is really nice. I'm gonna call it soccer ball because, you know, it's American sports league at this point. So we'll just call it soccer from now on. The mountains are very nice. The badge is pretty cool, like the badge symbol. It's not bad. I'm going to give this, well, nothing super interesting about it other than the mountain and the ball. So I'm gonna put this above Chicago Fire. Next up, we have Columbus Crew. A very simple C, it's got black and yellow, similar to Wolverhampton. Then we have 96, probably its establishment date. And then we just have white background and then black text, Columbus Crew. Very simple overall. I think this is gonna go, into not my vibe. Next up we have DC United. The eagle looks very, very nice. I like how it pops out of the emblem there. It's got 3 stars, I don't know what that means. It's also got black and white, very simple, and then a couple of the red stripes as well, which is also pretty cool. But yeah, the two colors are very bland, but the eagle design is really nice. So I think I'm gonna put this below Austin into its eye. Now you have FC Dallas, the Longhorn Bull for, you know, the southern, western style ranches and farms and stuff. The Lone Star for Texas, very smart. 1996 establishment date. I understand a lot of references here, so that's pretty cool. So I'm gonna put this into great. Above Atlanta United. Now we have FC Cincinnati. It has a Pegasus-like lion with a sword. I have no idea what that means, but the orange and blue color is very nice. The contrast is very strong. I really like the colors. The line is very good. The text is overall relatively simple. I'm gonna put this above Atlanta United into great. Now we have the Houston Dynamo. Dynamo is a really good name for a soccer team. It kind of reminds me of like the Mexican lucha libres, like, you know, Dynamo. Oh, maybe I'm thinking Fortnite.
Bruh.
Anyways, there's a little electric bolt sign down there, and then we have the H and the D. Very interesting way to write it. It's pretty good. I like it, how it's like intertwined within each other. But other than that, it is a really simple design. I'm going to be putting this below Chicago Fire because although I might not understand the references it has, it's definitely better than just Charlotte Football Club. Now you have Inter Miami. Now, the team that beat us in the MLS Cup Finals. I'm not gonna be biased here. I do really like the two, I think they're herons. They're really nice designs. There is a lot of text around. I assume it's Spanish, which is pretty cool. Establishment in 2020, MMXX, very cool. I like how they use the Latin Roman numerals there. I think I'm going to be putting this into great. This is going to go above Atlanta and probably above Cincinnati as well, but not above Dallas because I don't really like how much text there is on there. Now we have Los Angeles FC or LAFC. I really like the wing on this. It is very simple. It reminds me of the Vegas Golden Knights, the NHL team. It's a very nice design, very simple, but the colors are very nice. I think I'm going to put this one next to Atlanta, but it's going to go below because it doesn't have as much colors. And actually, I think now that I look at this, I'm probably going to be moving Austin FC up above Atlanta into great. Now we have a much simpler design, but a bit more meaningful, LA Galaxy. I really like the badge symbol, and then we have LA, very simple. Galaxy is a very nice little nameplate on there. Then we have a star for Galaxy, obviously. A very simple design, but also I really like the colors and how they look. So with that being the case, I'm probably going to be putting this just below Austin FC into great. Now we have Minnesota United FC. Very, very nice bird design there. MNUFC, not the best abbreviation for a soccer team, unfortunately, because it just doesn't really sound right. It's got a little star up here, very cool. It's also got a baby blue color. I'm not really vibing with that type of color, unfortunately. I think this is going to go into meh, but this is going to go near the top of it because of how good the design is. Now we have CF Montreal, a very iconic symbol there in Quebec, 1993 establishment time. The dark blue and the black, not the best contrast, but it's still a pretty nice color. Overall, relatively simple, but not too simple, so to speak. I think I'm going to put this below Colorado Rapids into its eye. Now we have Nashville SC. Personally, when I'm looking at this, I like how it's kind of like stuff that you would see when you're speaking into a mic, like the sound testing. Nashville SC, obviously they're a music city, so that's very understandable as to why they did that. But honestly, it's just a bunch of stripes and a bunch of just straight lines. I don't really like it, personally. I'm probably going to put this into not my vibe, but I still like the reference of the sounds. Now we have New England Revolution. I don't really understand why this looks the way it looks. It's a very odd looking design in the center. I know it means something. You have like an R, which kind of looks like a sideways like hand press or something, like a soap dispenser. And then New England Revolution, very plain and simple text, 1996. The red design on the outside is interesting. I don't really understand what it means. So unfortunately, I'm going to be putting this also into not my vibe. Now we have Red Bull New York. I personally really like the Red Bull logo, so having this once again copy and pasted just like Red Bull Leipzig, not bad, pretty cool. I have to dock points because it is a copy and paste, but the design in itself is really good. So this is probably going to go into meh, below Minnesota. Now you have a relatively simple emblem, New York City Football Club. NYC, very simple text, but also really interesting modern design. Yeah, there's like two pentagons there. There isn't really much for me to say, so I think I'm probably going to put this below Charlotte because it's not as interesting as a 2D PNG crown, and that's just going to go into its eye. Now we have Orlando City SC, not to be confused with Orlando Magic. So we have a BetMGM lion on there. If you guys don't know what that is, that's basically a gambling company. Yeah, the lion is a very interesting look. It almost does look like a PNG as well. It has a purple background, which kind of contrasts with the yellow. I'm going to be putting this also in meh, but this is going below Red Bull New York. Now we have the Philadelphia Union. It's got a very nice looking snake. It's got a lot of colors and they all fit very well. I actually quite like this emblem. Is it good enough to go into Super? Ooh, that's tough. For now, I'll put it in Super. This might go down, but I think for now this is going to go into Super. Now we have Portland Timbers. Lumberjack axe, I believe that is, or a hatchet. It's got a couple of yellow lines out there. I assume those stand for mountains, maybe. Or maybe it's just a tree that's being hung onto by ropes, signified as a hatchet. I don't really understand it. Also, it is very, very simple. So, other than the fact that this is just a PNG, I'm probably going to put this into not my vibe, but still above Columbus. Next up, we have Real Salt Lake. I feel like a lot of these teams, like they have United, they have FC, they have Real, or Real. I feel like they're just trying to imitate the British teams because they've been around for centuries. These guys have only been around for decades. So I don't know if they're trying to like do imitations there, or maybe if the British people moved over to America and just tried to like make something of their own, but also like, you know, get inspiration from the Premier League stuff and the European national leagues. I do really like the yellow, red, white flower there. The crown is also very nice. The RSL, yeah, letters, but they do make it look very regal and very prestigious, I guess. So I think I'm going to put this into great. but I think I'm going to put it... this is going to go below Austin. Now we have the brand new MLS team, San Diego FC. As if there isn't enough teams in California. It's got a I feel like that's like a very complex looking soccer ball, and then the FC's in the middle, San Diego up. It's got a lot of very gradient colors, like from hot to cold, top to bottom. Very nice gradient design, though I don't really understand what that means for a very, very southern city. But yeah, I think I'm going to put this into great tier, because I also do like how metallic it is. This is going to go above LA Galaxy. Alright, now we have the San Jose Earthquakes, another Californian team. Very edgy soccer ball. It's got the blue and black stripes kind of converging diagonally, I guess. I'm not sure if that really was a vibe. Quakes, sure, because you're near the tectonic plate boundary. The text font is pretty okay, like the Quakes font. Nothing too special, I'd say. I think this is going to go into it's alright. Probably... up below Montreal. Now we have Seattle Sounders. Obviously the Space Needle, very, very iconic American landmark, which I've personally seen a few times. Very simple, but also a notable Space Needle, because you can obviously tell it is. I personally quite like this. The colors are also my style. This is gonna go, above, probably below Austin FC, because I still like how complex and pretty the tree looks. Now we have Sporting Kansas City. The SMC is very interesting, though I don't think that was really the right call there. We have stripes. Yeah, the stripes are alright. Nothing too special. The colors are also pretty similar and bland, I'd say. So I think this is going to go into not my vibe. But below New England Revolution, because at least New England has color schemes, while Kansas City Sporting could do better on that. Alright, final three teams. Thank you guys so much for sticking to the end. St. Louis City SC. I think that's the halfway arch to define the west and east of USA, which is a very, very famous landmark as well. Very cool. I don't understand what the other lines are, but I do understand like this one right here. Overall pretty simple, but it does signify something. I think this is going to go into its eye. Just like Chicago Fire, I understand the reference, but to other people that might not, they'll just think it's a very, very simple logo / emblem, so this is going to go below Chicago Fire. Now we have the two Canadian teams, Toronto FC starting off. Very, very nice design. I like the how it kind of looks like an emblem, and then I think these are flowers maybe. The gray tee contrasting with the dark red, then the FC font. Not bad. I also like how there's like a ribbon of Toronto that kind of just looks more 3D, which is quite nice. I'm going to be putting this into great, but I think this is going to go next to Atlanta, above though. And lastly, we have my home team. They were very close in the MLS Cup Finals, but they honestly really did not deserve to win that. So Vancouver, famous for their mountains, their skiing, and their lush rainforests, they decided to go with the mountains, which is a very good choice. Obviously, I'm from Vancouver, so I understand a lot of the references here. So very, very nice mountain whitecaps. I think I'm going to put this into great as well because I understand the reference. The font, the contrast is also very good as well. Is this going to go above San Diego? No. So I'm going to put this right here. And then with Philadelphia, I think we'll leave Philadelphia in Super. We're probably going to move some of these up a little bit. So we'll put FC Dallas into Super as well, but we're going to leave the rest where they are. And there you have it!
And there you have it, homeboy! And there you have it!
The final ranking of the MLS emblems. This is my final tier list for the emblem ranking series. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace out.